40 years ago, a man by the name of Dr. Benjamin Wolfe had started out on his dream of purchasing and planting and building a house on 3 acres in Davie, Florida. What we are seeing today is the fruits of that man's labor and his vision from 35 years ago, now almost 40 years ago, when he bought 3 acres of pasture land and turned 2 acres of it into a backyard. And his passion was growing tropical fruit trees. He had a vision of certain trees in certain places and certain varieties. Being a soil chemist by profession, he used his backyard as his own personal laboratory. And what we're going to see today is some of the fruits of his work and his design. He also was very, very good on plants in general. So he knew how they would grow and would purposely cut sapling trees off at their trunk, at the base, to force them to branch out. You will see this in the lychee trees as we come in the main drive. He planted a total of 8 lychee trees, Brewster is the variety, and 2 longans as soldiers in standing guard coming from the back gate 3/4 of the way through the property and stopped. These lychee trees are spread out 35 feet apart and 35 feet from each other because of his vision of them as full-grown mature trees growing up and spreading out and creating the canopy we see today. He lined them up perfectly to make a beautiful drive. In between each one, he put royal palm trees, native to South Florida, and positioned them perfectly as well, so that now we have what we see today as this drive that is now the main driveway for the property known as La Tierra, Monstera, Deliciosa. 6 years ago, I stood on the spot marked by the large white rock in front of the porte cochere, looking down the canopy drive created by the lychee trees towards an old farm gate that was at the back of the property, and I was struck with an epiphany. I knew at that moment that this canopy drive had to be the driveway of a beautiful estate home that was going to be placed at the end of the drive. What you see today now is the fulfillment of that dream. And a large 6,000 square foot under roof, 3,500 square foot under air estate home located at the back of the property on 1.86 acres in Davie, Florida. There were several large trees that needed to be salvaged and relocated onto the property before anything could be done. One is a large oak tree, and the other 2 of the 3 trees were large producing mango trees of a very delicious variety. Once the 3 trees were relocated off of the home site, the demucking process began. Soil compaction tests were conducted, and the top 2 feet of the soil were pushed off the future pad of the house, and the filling process begun. The base elevation of the first floor was raised up over 3 feet from base elevation of the property, so that the house rises up above everything surrounding it on the property, and all rain and all water drains away from the house down to the lower elevations. Once that was completed, forming and pouring of the footers for the stem wall construction of the house was begun. That completed, the shell started to go up and took approximately 9 to 12 months to complete a total shell. Stuccoed in, painted, railings on the second floor, and a full complete barrel tile roof. All installed and structure made watertight once all of the hurricane-proof windows and doors were installed. The house itself is a true Palladian design built with an Italian Mediterranean style. This is in keeping with some of the more beautiful estate homes in northern Italy designed by Andrea Palladio many, many years ago. There's a total of 38 columns and many archways, as well as balconied second story and porte cochere rooftop terrace. For those of you not familiar with Andrea Palladio, the famous architect from ancient Italy, his basic design premise called for a perfectly symmetrical building, whereby you could take the plans for the structure and fold it in half, and every square foot that was on one side of the line would be represented on the other side of the line. The grounds surrounding the house are heavily planted with a wide variety of rare and unusual tropical fruit trees in various stages of growth. Anywhere from newly planted saplings, such as akis and some citrus, up to full-grown and producing mature fruit trees such as the avocado trees, mango trees, lychees, and longans that form the main driveway. With the exception of the front door, every door and window in the house are PGT WindGuard, impact-resistant windows and doors. The front door is currently protected and covered with a temporary heavy-duty steel front door with a temporary facade covering the opening. This was because the true end vision has a steel and glass, heavy-duty, one single large door befitting and becoming an estate home of this magnitude. Those kinds of doors are custom doors and currently do not have Dade or Broward County product approval. Once the homeowner arrives and walks in the front door, the design of the house calls for a full-fledged waterfall resembling a tropical jungle waterfall such as you would find in Costa Rica, for instance, to be seen through the large glass panels at the back of the great room. Once walking in the front door, the viewer's eyes will be directed towards and caught by the lush tropical vegetation and very inviting waterfall. The waterfall in the back patio area has a series of steps leading down from the brick patio down into the pond and allowing for the users to walk into the water and cool off and stand under the waterfall when the waterfall is flowing. There are 2 areas on each side of the steps reserved for water-based tropical plants such as water lilies, papyrus, and certain members of the canna family. The brickwork in the back along the south side of both garages is in the final stages of completion. The east side will be an outdoor barbecue area with smokers and grills and outdoor fireplace, and the west side will be a plant nursery for orchids, bromeliads, gingers, etc. The pump house is actually an existing original structure from the property from its initial purchase and has been relocated and positioned to be used as the basis of the waterfall. As you can see from this angle, the rocks have been attached to the north face as well as on the roof. The original roof was removed and replaced with a 6-inch thick concrete slab, making the structure into a small bunker that is extremely well protected against the elements. It houses the 2 separate plumbing systems for the waterfall and pond. The large waterfall pump is a 7.5 horsepower motor and produces the volume of water required to give the feel of a very strong and good waterfall. The smaller system is used for the filtering of the water on a day-to-day basis so that it recirculates and passes the water through a filter, allowing it to remain clean every single day. Immediately to the right of the front door as you walk in is a half bath with dual access. One access is to the main seating area in the great room for guests, access to a sink and a commode. The other access is into bedroom number 4 of the 4 bedrooms. Both doorways have a 3-foot clearance, allowing for easy wheelchair access. Bedroom number 4 has a large walk-in closet and access to the front porch through double French doors, single panel, hurricane-resistant, impact-resistant glass. The other doorway into bedroom number 4 is also 3 foot wide, as is the hallway immediately in front of it, allowing for easy access on the first floor for wheelchairs and wider required walkways. Bedroom number 4 has 2 entrances, one through the pass-through bathroom, the half bath, and one into the hallway, as well as its exit out to the front porch through the double glass French doors. The doorway to the hallway is also 3 foot wide to allow bedroom number 4 to be easily used by anyone requiring a wheelchair or walkers or anyone who requires an extra wide walkway.